Hey guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today we're going to be doing a talk in regards to potential market manipulation and then kind of going over general trends that we've seen in the past when it comes to seeing reprints for the Pokemon meta. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So of course, as always, I got to get it out of the way as we begin the video. For those people that don't know, we are starting a new weekly giveaway where every Monday we are going to be giving away a Pokemon product to whoever is subscribed, leaves a like on the video, as well as leaves a comment down below. And so how we're going to run it is at the end of each kind of week, we are going to tally up all the comments from each video. One comment obviously allows you for one entry. So you can actually have multiple entries if you enter in comments on each video for the week. And then the following week on Monday, we will announce the winner. And so how we're kind of doing it is we're going to be giving away 6 packs as far as it goes each week. And then as we start to grow and hit our goals, we'll start to give more and more packs out. So we've actually started to really grow rapidly, and I can't thank you guys enough. So really help out a lot what you guys have been doing, and honestly we're going to be continuing to give away more with the current rate of growth that we're kind of hitting. So we might actually end up giving out 12 packs by the end of next week, depending upon how things go, and then so on and so on. But now that I got that out of the way, let's go and talk about kind of today's topic. So it's, in my opinion, probably one of the more important topics, and it's a more in-depth one. Obviously I've kind of been talking a lot recently about the recent, market crash, and we've kind of talked about the in-depth analysis when it comes to market trends. However, one thing that I feel like we haven't really talked about is, whether you want to call it market manipulation, whether you want to call it catalyst, or just certain things that happen in the Pokemon world that do play a huge part in the overall, effects of what the price of product is. So we're going to take a look at kind of some of the, whether it be theories or just analysis that we've seen in the past. So what am I talking about basically? So as you can see, I have a list in front of me of all the Pokemon sets, basically up until, the Steam Siege and Evolution XY era. So basically why this is important, why we're kind of taking a look at it, is because a lot of people don't understand and a lot of people don't realize is the Pokemon company likes to kind of center around its reprints based off of current Pokemon meta. And so what do I mean by that? I mean, for those people that don't know, every single year Pokemon has a championship when it comes to the TCG game, and this usually happens in August. And so for that reason, typically what will happen is the Pokemon company within leading up to August will have reprints that'll kind of come up for the current standard set. So for those people who are like, well, what's the standard set? Well, if you really want to look it up, you can always check it out on the Pokemon TCG website. Here we can take a look and see this is the one for 2020. It says everything Sun and Moon and Ultra Prism and forward. So the reason why this is important and kind of taking a look at 2020 is we're going to be kind of discussing some of the prior reprints that we had. So for those people that didn't know, we had an Unbroken Bonds and we had a Unified Mind reprint that happened last year in 2020. Coincidentally enough, the Unbroken Bonds one came shortly before the Pokemon TCG tournament occurred. Now, of course, we had cancellations. Specifically, we're having some this year, which is kind of pushing the tournaments into 2020. But ultimately, these reprints still play a factor when it comes to the overall, Pokemon competitive format. And since we know, as far as it goes right now, that, things have started to get better with COVID, the Pokemon company is really pressing and kind of pushing out, trying to get a lot of competitive style cards, because we just had a rotation happen back in September. And so what is the current meta? Current meta is Pokemon cards from Sword and Shield and newer. And so basically all of the Sun and Moon and prior are out of the current rotation. However, one thing that is kind of interesting to kind of take into consideration is the Pokemon company did come out and say a couple months ago, when everyone was kind of complaining about scalpers and reprints, saying that they have the right to reprint basically any set leading up until evolutions. So basically what does that mean? They could hypothetically, if they want to, go back and reprint Guardians Rising, Burning Shadows, Crimson Invasion, all these other sets. Is it likely that they're going to go that far back? I doubt it. But as far as it goes, they still left that kind of door open, saying that we own the right, even though it's less likely, because as it stands right now, they're more focused on the overall reprints when it comes to the competitive format. And we've seen this before too. I already talked about it. There was a Roaring Skies reprint. There was a Primal Clash reprint, shortly before the Pokemon TCG tournament. It was like at the start of the year is kind of when it happened. And so it's one of those things where when you're looking at the overall standard format, it was really important to the Pokemon company to kind of publish and push that stuff out so that people were able to get access to this Pokemon product cheaper. So of course, this is important for those people that do like to collect. This is important for those people that do like to invest, because then you can kind of gauge your overall risk when it comes to, is a good time to buy, whether it be owning a set or collecting booster boxes or investing, because you have to understand there are these time frame windows when it comes to overall, expansions in sets or standard format. Now, of course, one thing that also is important when it comes to considering is the fact of the matter that when it comes to, kind of gauging risk, a lot of people have been in such a FOMO mode the past couple of years, basically since 2020, where they have really not been able to gauge the risk of when it comes to investing or when it comes to collecting and buying, the sealed product, because there was such a shortage due to supply chains being locked up that everyone thought to themselves, this is never going to go back down again. The Pokemon company is so focused right now on just continuing to get new sets and keeping up with demand that a lot of people, had kind of speculated that the reprints weren't going to come, or you might not see a lot of these reprints until later down the line. And so now, for those people that didn't gauge that risk, you're starting to see that kind of crumble, For those people that had Darkness Ablaze sealed booster boxes, for those people that thought it was the end of Vivid Voltage. And who knows, guys, like I had mentioned before, maybe we're going to see that as far as it goes with Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield base. It makes the most sense because Sword and Shield base does have a lot of cards that are prevalent in the meta. And so it's one of those things where you got to really take everything I say, of course, with a grain of salt, but also we're looking at the history of the Pokemon company and saying to ourselves what is, prevalent from back then. So all of this is very important information when kind of gauging, okay, what is the most likely thing the Pokemon company is going to reprint. And now, granted, guys, you also have to take into consideration as well, Hidden Fates has been reprint 4 times. Yes, it's been reprinted during meta each time, but as far as it goes, it's considered one of these special expansions. So ultimately, it's one of those sets that isn't really viable competitively, but it was still a set that was to demand when it comes to overall Pokemon product. And so once again, they're going to reprint these specialty sets. Now, of course, you have ones like Cosmic Eclipse that kind of falls into both categories, where it is a competitively viable set because it did have a meta with the Dialga, Palkia, Arceus, but it also has those, trainer cards that a lot of people like to collect. So it's possible they could hypothetically go back and reprint Cosmic Eclipse, considering they did reprint Unbroken Bonds, Unified Minds, but they didn't do that with Cosmic. And now you can make the argument the reason why they didn't do that now, or it's unlikely it'll happen now, is because they're out of rotation. But like I said, it does fall under that category of collectible. So I think this is really important information, and here's something even more important that I kind of want to talk about with you guys, and this is something a lot of people really haven't talked about much. I know SM Pratt made a video about it like several years ago. I've been following all these guys forever, and so I like to take and pick, a lot of their brains and also get my own information from my distributors and kind of the overall inside scoop that I have and the kind of knowledge that I have of being a business owner. And one thing I think that's very important that people don't understand, and this is where the concept of market manipulation comes into play. Obviously it's one of those things where when it comes to reprints, I wouldn't consider reprints market manipulation. I think it's speculatively time based on competitive play. However, where this does come into market manipulation is distributors. And so here's what I think a big issue that we've kind of been seeing recently with distributors. And I've kind of talked about this a lot in my Discord. Link down in the description below if you want to join the conversation or just be a part of our community. But basically, one of the things that I've kind of expressed with a lot of people is how I think the wave system has actually hurt small businesses, and it's helped a lot of the big box retailers the most. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of these big box retailers have these kind of contracts with the Pokemon company where they have a set price, and this is the price that they're going to be getting. And because of that, and they get that set price, and then when it comes to these overall reprint waves, a lot of what you'll see is a lot of, and this is not for every distributor, so I'm not here to flame every distributor, but there are some that I will not name that actually what they will do is once it hits wave 2 or 3 or 4, they'll look at the overall market value and they'll say to themselves, okay, this is the current price of what it's going for market price, and they will list it slightly below whatever the market price is. And if you don't sell it literally right before the market corrects itself, then you're just, sitting on this product. And it really does suck because it hurts the small business, because it's one of those things where they don't get that set, market price, because a lot of booster box prices have really started to go up. But even then, they'll still charge, like, I'm not even kidding you, like Like I said, go check out the Discord if you don't believe me. I have links and you can take a look at it. But they will go from charging 86, which is the wholesale rate, to 100 plus bucks based off of what the market is going for. And you can say to yourself, like, well, it's not unethical because as far as it goes, their job as distributors is not just to supply product, but it's also to make a profit. Well, I completely agree with you in that aspect. But one of the biggest issues that happens is a lot of the times they won't give you all the product, or the retailers all the product. They'll actually hoard some product themselves, and then they'll eventually resell that product later down the line as the market value continues, which then of course allows them to get better margins. Which, as a distributor, your literal name is you're supposed to distribute Pokemon product. You're not supposed to play this game where you're manipulating the market by not giving out all the product to all your customers right away, but instead hoarding product, because you know down the line, once you start to see a lot of the sets start to rotate out, or once you start to see these sets kind of go up in value as new sets start to come out before reprints, then they offload the product. They charge and jack up the prices so that a lot of people that are trying to desperately get product at this current state in the market are going to get screwed having to charge these higher prices. And then a new reprint comes out, and if you don't sell that product right away, then you just absolutely got screwed. And it's one of those things where it's kind of scummy, And the tactic in and of itself, like, obviously they can do what they want, but I think at the end of the day, it's very harmful. And the reason why I would say so is it's not only harmful for, like I said, the small business owner, but it's also very harmful for the market in and of itself. Because when you have a distributor whose job is, like I said, literally to distribute product, and they're not doing that, and instead they're holding a lot of product, well, it doesn't allow the market to see that full effect when it comes to the overall price drop. And so what you'll see happen is, of course, when there is that hoarded product that does come out in the market doesn't even see a dent in it because it's slowly being rolled out, and so it's adjusting with the current market price. And so you'll see like a couple dollar dip here or there, but then it'll go right back up. And so you don't see that initial decrease when it comes to overall product prices. And so it's really, really dirty tactic in my personal opinion. Obviously, distributors are a business at the end of the day, so they need to make money. I have a great relationship with both my distributors. It's one of those things where I understand, when it comes to, when it comes to the decisions made, it's always by the higher ups, and they're trying to make their ends meet when it comes to their profit margins. But I do think there isn't like an ethicality when it comes to the decisions that are being made and how it does truly affect the market, because you do have these reprints that do take effect, and the Pokemon company is obviously doing what's best for the TCG player because that is such a huge part of the community. And of course they also do reprints when it comes to the collectability, but then you have these middlemen that are coming in and they're taking advantage of that market. And like I said, man, they have their own prerogatives, but I definitely think there's some ethicalness when it comes to it. And at the end of the day, like I've said many times before, as much as people don't like to admit it, this is a market. This is not just a Pokemon hobby. This is a market. There is a ton of money to be made in this market, and so people are going to play the game. A lot of people can sit here and say, well, I'm only in it because I enjoy Pokemon. Well, guess what? Like, that's great, and I enjoy Pokemon too, but a lot of people are in here outside of that reason. And you can hate on investors all you want, but they're still an important part of the market because they do bring that to the table. But once again, then there's always going to be bad actors at play that are going to play effect when it comes to the manipulation of how the overall market price is going to be for a lot of the sealed product. So I think that's something very important that a lot of people aren't really bringing up. A lot of people kind of don't discuss it. And, honestly, I kind of wish more people talked about it. Because like I said before, SM Pratt made a video about it several years ago. I haven't really heard much from any of the other guys since. So it'd be really cool to see if I could get a response from any of these guys in regards to it, because it has been something that has really been hurting a lot of people, including myself, honestly, because all this new product that's kind of been coming out, whether it be the Evolving Skies reprint, I mean, literally all the reprints, I have gotten, and I'm not even exaggerating, I have gotten 0 from the reprints. I got my final waves that I got allocated for me, but as far as it goes with reprints, I have gotten 0 product from reprints, because when it comes to the fact of the matter, and I'm not even kidding you, they're charging me $100 a booster box for Battle Styled, and I can go buy it for $85 right now on the secondary market. I literally would lose money if I buy from my distributor because of how expensive it is. And so it's just not affordable and it's not feasible. And so it really does start to play effect on the market. And, obviously you can sit here and say, well, Eli, like that's a bummer for you, but, I'm still able to get cheap access to product. Although I agree with you and I think that's great, but you guys also have to take into consideration what the long-term effect or ramification that's going to have, whether it be on LGS, whether it be on secondhand stores outside of, eBay, TCG Player, because a lot of these places that are running on thin margins are basically so in demand for that product in order to survive, and they don't have as large of, cap on product when it comes to a lot of these big box retailers. It does start to cause a lot of companies to kind of flip on their bellies and not be able to survive, and then in turn will hurt the market at the end of the day, because then you're in the hands of a lot of these kind of big box distributors that aren't able to compete at market prices and allow you to hit these market prices. And so it actually will in turn cause prices to go up over time, long term, kind of how like we've seen recently when it comes to the overall inflation rate of the recent market, where you saw prices of booster boxes back in late 2020 go from $82 or as low as $80 all the way up to now $90. I know some places are still doing $87. But as far as it goes, that's a huge jump. That's a 10% jump in overall prices, and that is going to bleed into the market for those people that are, avid Pokemon fans that want to try and get product at a lot cheaper of a price. And like I said before, there will be sets that aren't going to be popular, so there's going to be flash sales. Like I said, there was that one for Crimson Invasion where you're able to buy booster boxes for $60, and I wouldn't be surprised if Battle Styles had a flash sale, or not Crimson Invasion, sorry, or Rebel Clash had a flash sale if it did get a reprint, something along the lines of that. But as far as it goes right now, we're looking at prices. We're looking at prices potentially having certain plateaus in the overall market long term, as things start to stabilize and you start to see, that kind of effect play into the market. But yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt. Take all of my information as you will. I'm just here to kind of give my personal opinion, my kind of interpretation of things, and give you guys the data on the importance of understanding how there's this market manipulation at play, how it will affect you ultimately and affect a lot of businesses, as well as the overall rotations that do play factors into potential reprints for Pokemon sets in the past as well as in the future. But yeah, thank you guys as always so much for watching. That is kind of all I have for today's content. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, please make sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on your personal opinion on kind of the topic. Actually, kind of let me know on what your guys' personal thoughts are on the reprints. Do you think the reprints are healthy? Do you think they're bad? Why are you in this market? Is it just to collect? Is it investing? Is it both? Let me know down in the comment section below, as I really love to engage and interact, and I respond to most people's comments. And then, like I said before, for those people that didn't see the start of the video, we are doing that giveaway. So it really does help yourself to be able to enter by doing those 3 things that I said. And for those people that do have multiple comments, when it comes to making a comment Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you do get up to 3 multiple entries, which allows you to have the possibility of getting more free cardboard, as someone posted in Monday's video. So definitely helps because it ups your chances. But that is all I have. Once again, thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys on Friday. Peace.